sell plugs, Kanye shrug, hitting numbers that matter.
Thanks for tuning to the Black Fathers Initiative of Cleveland YouTube page. Really appreciate the love. Make sure you click the link in the bio, like, subscribe, you know what to do. So today I have somebody new on the page. I just came across this this content recently and definitely wanted to share it with everybody, as well as give my critiques on it as well. This is from a guy named Coach Greg Adams. I believe that he has a YouTube page that you can go check out as well. But this is looks like maybe a seminar or something he was talking about, and it's that he was having, and it's talking about the dangers of single motherhood. It says single mothers, but it's not that the single mothers are a danger. I think it's just pretty much the fact that there's no fathers in the hood. So, I mean, no fathers in the home. So he speaks on this, but he points out some things that I would love for you guys to share with other black women as well as black men who may not be in their children's lives, but definitely black women. And when I'm saying this, I'm not saying it to say that, we know that children need to have a mother and a father in the household. And we know that there's a lot of black men out there that aren't taking care of their responsibilities. So what should black women do? That's the question. What can black women do? Because you can't go out there and just run and be with every Tom, Dick, and Harry just because you want your son to be around a man, because every man ain't a good man. So I don't know, but we'll try to get to some solutions by the end. Let's go.
Real quick. Okay? We have what we call going on right now, beta male energy. Beta male energy. Right now going on in society. We're seeing it. Now look at these numbers right here. They have what we also call single mothers are heroes. Look at this. 1950. These are percentage of births that are to unwed women. We think single motherhood has been around for a long time. It really hasn't. This is a new concept, and they use marketing campaigns to get you to accept it. 1950s, 5%. Not a lot of children born to unwed mothers. We get to 2012, we're almost dang near half. Okay? Some communities, 70% of the children born to unwed mothers. What typically happens right now, the father absence is a crisis in America. 19 million children, more than, well, we're approaching half at this particular point. This is in 2017. Live without a father in the home.
I believe this is about 2 years old.
Yeah, I'm telling you this for a reason,
Maybe
because
3.
the guys that want to be fathers, the 4 or 5 of you that raise your hands, probably half of you, will not even raise your kid from 0 to 18. You won't even have the authority to do so. The systems are already in place. They got a whole bunch of things in place for you to not be in that home. Your job is to maintain that authority. Remember I said, being a father is not enough. Or wanting to be a father is not enough. You have to have the authority. You have to be willing to lead, okay? So what does that lead to? Kids that grow up without a father, 4 times as much to be raised in poverty, 7 times likely to be a teenage pregnancy victim. More likely to experience child abuse. That's normally because potentially the single mother.
So that right there, 7 times more likely to become pregnant as a teenager. That right there is probably one of the main ones, honestly.
The co-parent has moved in.
And the reason I say that's the main one is because if that continues to happen, then once again, just imagine a young lady having a child and as a teenager. Is that teenage man or is that teenage boy going to be there for that woman and her child? Probably not. I'm just saying, he's a teenager. Probably not. He may be there for a minute, but, unfortunately in our community, it's not likely that, when she has if the 16-year-old woman has this child, that her 17, 18, 19-year-old boyfriend is going to marry her and, do the things that a man is supposed to do, unfortunately. But it does happen.
man into your domicile, into her domicile. Okay? Behavioral problems. Who in here was raised by two parents? Okay, wow, look at this. Okay, that represents, remember that graph I showed you? That represents that. Okay, what about this? Incarceration. They talk about mass incarceration. More likely to go to prison. The stat that I put in my second book, De-Evolution, 73% of the prison inmates were raised in single parent households, primarily single mothers.
That's the majority of
child
prisoners.
Obesity. Are we seeing this today? Are we not seeing this? Okay, 2 times as likely to suffer from obesity. Why? Video games, social media. We're going to get to that. Crime, more likely to be a criminal. Somebody said one time in the 80s, oh, the numbers of the crime rate is going down. Okay, while single parenthood was going up. They wanted an explanation. Well, why is that happening? Okay, it's happening because they're all in jail, right? Can't be out there committing crime when you're already locked up. Education, 2 times more likely to drop out. See this? Beta male energy right here. This is beta male energy, okay? And the media can get to your kids to incite you to do anything when you don't have an authority figure around. They can incite you into this division. Now you see me, I'm black, but this right here ain't it. This ain't it. This is right here being a victim. Now, if you have a father that's leading you, you're not gonna be a victim. If you got a father that's leading you, you're not gonna say, yeah, let's go outside, son. If you grew up with a father, you're not gonna be out there thinking that this is gonna make a difference. See, I teach my kids they're not victims. You make your own way. You design your own path. You don't go out there and yell and scream in the streets to try to force people to give you something. This is beta male energy. And I called it out. I'm not afraid to call this out on social media. Okay? I called it out from day one that this ain't it. Okay? What about this stuff? Anybody hear this?
Little girls?
It's a movie called Cuties, in which these girls represent 11-year-old girls. Okay? And they're in provocative poses designed to, well, the producer of the movie and the director, oh, this is a coming-of-age film about girls developing and realizing their sexuality and their power. Really? Is that what you're calling it? Because this looks like none of them had a dad. This looks like all of their mothers dragged them down to the audition and said, this is the only way to do it. Let's sell that peace leave. If you've been listening to my content, you know what that is. Let's sell it because that's all we got, girls. See, if these women have fathers, these young girls have fathers, you're not gonna let your daughters go out there and do any of this, okay? Even if you are in a marriage, okay? Even if you're in a marriage, a lot of men right now, you're in hand-pecked relationships, meaning she's the authority figure in the house. You can't even say anything about raising the kids because she believes she owns the kids. We're gonna talk about that.
So,
let's sell it.
Definitely. What
right now, you're.
What this guy? So yeah, go check it out. I guess they got some stuff going on 21 University Positive Education for Men. I'm definitely gonna be checking them out for sure.
Owns the kids.
And I'm definitely gonna be, reposting things that I feel are interesting and can help our community, be better. So, basically, like I said, I really just. Some of the things, like when he says this is beta male energy, I get it. I understand what he's saying, but I believe there's also some alpha males in that crowd. I don't believe every single male there are beta males. Okay, so I would have to disagree with this. As well as if you feel like, I do feel sometimes that marching and protesting don't get things done like we want them to, but at the same time, they do get things done. I can't say marching and protesting hasn't gotten things done because it has gotten a lot of things done. Sometimes it seems like marching and protesting is the only thing that we can do to get things done. So, I wouldn't call that beta male energy. Yeah, there's some beta males out there, absolutely. But I think if there's a leader and there's somebody in front, he's probably an alpha male. But regardless of that, my whole thing was this here. All this relates to a system and a cycle that we continue to go in. Because until fathers start stepping up and being in the homes more, these things are going to keep happening. As well as, I know for sure, for a fact that, we have our discrepancies with our women, and our women, some women try to keep their children away from their men because they're not paying child support, or because they're not doing this or doing that, whatever the case may be. But, whatever you as a man have to do to see your children, or to make sure that you can have access to your children and don't have to worry about the baby mama taking your children from you or anything like that, that's what you have to do. So if you have to go to court and get joint custody and do all that stuff, even though you don't want to, and it takes up your time and whatever, that's the stuff you have to do so that you can be in your child's life, because it is just so important for men to be in their child's life, period, point blank. I mean, it just is. And there's nothing around it. So the solution, I was going to say, for young single black mothers who have young men who I know are probably mad hyper, running around all the time, always jumping off of stuff, bouncing off the walls. I know, I have a young son. I know how young black boys are. What you have to do, and what I do with my son, and what I'm going to be, and what I'm looking into now, is probably getting him into some karate classes. The karate classes is just for him to also learn discipline, but as well as for him to, be able to get some of that energy out and use some of that energy in a positive way, as well as, like I say, to learn some discipline and some structure from, hopefully his instructor. That's what I would suggest for, all black women who have young black sons who may not have a black man in the house. Now, I'm not saying the karate teacher is going to raise your son. No. But that would be a consistent man that he sees, that he has respect for, that if he's a great instructor, or if he's a great guide, period, he's going to be, a great influence on the children that he's teaching, then, that's an option for you. Karate, boxing, you know what I'm saying? Boxing helps to get that energy out as well as, once again, it's some more discipline, some more structure. He's going to be around men, and men being able to teach him and show him things. Once again, you can't look for these men to raise your kid, but if you have your son around these men, he's going to pick up certain things, as well as men ourselves. When we're around younger, little boys, we tend to, give them game and give them knowledge, and share information with them that, once again, he would never get from his mom, because she's not a man, and there's a lot of things that she don't know, and she's not going to go through or experience. So, yeah, so that's my solution for some women, for, women, if they're single black women and they have young men, and they don't have, not looking to be dating and stuff like that, and you don't have a man in the household that can really be a positive, a positive influence on your son, then you may want to get your son into some type of, classes, boxing, karate, anything that has him around other men, other boys, where they can, they can chill, communicate, learn how to work together, and, burn off some energy. So that's my solution. Other than that, though, this was a great little speech, or a great thing that he had. I'm quite sure there's more to it. I'll probably watch the rest, and I might even do a part two to this. But other than that, once again, we appreciate the love. Thanks for stopping by. www.blackfathersofcleveland.com is our nonprofit organization. Make sure you go check out the website, and you can see some of the things that we've been doing in the community. Really appreciate the love. Peace.